What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's One Piece chapter review, and in this week's video we're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 920. Now, in my previous video talking about chapter 919, I was talking about how time travel being introduced into the One Piece series can potentially destabilize the plot. We could have a lot of inconsistencies, we could have a lot of plot holes, and if time travel is not properly explained and has its limitations properly noted, it can be damaging towards the plot going forward into the future. Now, in this chapter, we get the introduction of Lady Toki and her Toki powers, or time powers, and how Lady Toki originally came from the past, and how she has the ability to transport people into the future, and how Kinemon, Momo, and the rest of his crew basically came from the past to fulfill this oath to avenge Lord Odin. Now, one thing I feel about this is, as long as time travel is properly explained and its limitations are properly explained, then we won't really have any inconsistencies, we won't have any plot holes, and, you know, to be honest, some time travel would probably explain why Vegapunk and his technology is just centuries advanced for his time, and why this guy is just so smart. But then on top of that, it's not just like Vegapunk is the only genius within the One Piece universe. We do have Caesar Clown, and we do have Judge Vinsmoke, who are both scientists as well, and who both have a lot of amazing scientific accomplishments of their own. But Vegapunk is just in a league on his own so far. But I think time travel should just really be limited to this arc with Kaido and Wano, and just stay at that. Now, with Kinemon and the group, we find out that they have a lot of loyalists within Wano that are just basically undercover, deep-seated allies of theirs, and that Kinemon originally wanted to have around 5,000 allies, or 5,000 people numbering in their force before taking on Kaido and Lord Orochi. Now, to be honest, the only thing I really just didn't like about Kinemon's plan is Kinemon didn't want to wage an open war against Kaido. Now, me as a reader, I want action in the series, but then again, looking from Kinemon's point, this is a Yonko we're talking about fighting, and not only just the Yonko, but his three disasters, the rest of his crew, Lord Orochi, and the entirety of Wano against you and your loyalists. So doing this very carefully and undercover, and as precisely as possible, is really the best option that you have. But in my opinion, we all know that when it comes to One Piece, a lot of these plans go out the window, especially when we're talking about Yonko at that. Like Beige Capone's plan to assassinate Big Mom. It was simple. They have the rocket launchers. Luffy or his crew breaks the portrait. Big Mom freaks out. In that state of vulnerability, and while everyone else is shocked, fire the rocket launchers at Big Mom. What happened? They had a lot more difficulty breaking that portrait than originally anticipated. Big Mom screamed, "Destroy the rocket launchers," that were supposed to be, you know, vetted to be able to take her down. And on top of that, their way of escaping was ruined. So, a lot of what happened in that Totland arc didn't go as planned. And I feel the same thing is going to happen when it comes to Kaido and Onigashima, and them going to bring the fight to Kaido. Let's just be honest here. They didn't really fare too well against Big Mom. They barely escaped with their lives against Big Mom. Granted, Luffy beat Dogtooth. I just don't think it's going to be as easy when it comes to fighting Kaido unless there's a serious handicap against Kaido, and there's some serious weakness that can be utilized against him. Or, you know, they just pull another Big Mom arc where, you know, we get introduced to Kaido, we get introduced to his strength and everything like that, and Luffy somehow manages to MacGyver a victory, and Kaido isn't directly defeated. Some of his underlings are defeated. Wano is, liberated from Kaido and his crew, but that doesn't necessarily mean Kaido has been defeated. The only other thing I can really see going for Kaido and, going in Luffy's corner is the fact that Kaido isn't really unbeatable. Big Mom has been pretty much described as this tank, this unstoppable force. But Kaido, the dude has a history of taking L's. He has a history of being captured, being tortured, or being executed. Now, whether this is before he became a Yonko or afterwards, who knows? But the dude has a history of taking L's, as opposed to Big Mom, as opposed to Whitebeard, as opposed to Shanks. And pretty much the only L we've seen Shanks take is one from Blackbeard, and that was in the long, long past when he supposedly underestimated him. Who knows about Kaido? I mean, I remember when Kaido had jumped, they was talking about if it's on land, air, or in the sea, that you can bet on Kaido winning. Now, I just don't feel like that. I feel like a lot of these Yonko are really, really, really hyped up. And don't get me wrong, Big Mom is insanely powerful. She is. But the competency of her crew just fucked up Totland. It fucked up that entire arc. Her crew was so incompetent that it made Luffy literally get declared the next Yonko. Now, Kaido and his crew, I don't have the same expectations with them going forward as I did for Big Mom's crew, because Big Mom's crew was supposedly this family, this well tight-knit unit. They had their little freaking surveillance operation around her territory. They had all these different systems going on, all these different marriages and alliances. They just had everything going for them. They just seemed like these great guys. And then Luffy and his crew comes in there, and suddenly they don't know how to freaking come up with a strategy for their lives. I don't have the same expectation with Kaido and his crew, because basically, they're the beast pirates. If anything, I just kind of expect most of them to be absolute berserkers and not strategists. I think the strategists are really going to be coming from Wano. It's going to be coming from Lord Orochi. It's going to be coming from the other samurai under Lord Orochi. But it's definitely not going to be coming from Kaido's crew. Kaido's crew is going to be the manpower. They're going to be basically the brawn and the force behind everything. But Lord Orochi and his crew is going to be the brains. But it also makes me wonder, how strong is Lord Orochi? And how strong was Lord Kozuki Oden? Because when Kinemon was describing him and when they was talking about his feats, he seemed like this god-level samurai who basically unified all of Wano country, and his defeat was just this freaking monumental thing. And then Kaido just comes in right before Lord Orochi can really get situated, and then just usurps everything. But what else do I want to talk about in this video about this? I just don't know. I feel like attacking Kaido's abode, or his place where he's currently residing, is not really a smart move. Especially with the fact that we still have X-Drake lying around somewhere. We still have Basil Hawkins wandering around in Wano. And, I could see this arc ending pretty much with Luffy, Basil Hawkins, X-Drake, Trafalgar Law, Kinemon, Momo, and the rest of the forces, pretty much just the heavy hitters. All the heavy hitters. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, all of them just ganging up on Kaido. Because Law pretty much said him and Luffy's alliance has a very slim chance to take down Kaido. Now, you add in X-Drake, you add in Scratchman Apu, you add in Basil Hawkins, you add in Eustace Kid. Who knows? Eustace Kid could be in Onigashima. We don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think that their plan is going to go as planned to take out Kaido? Do you think that it's going to be altered? Do you think that Eustace Kid is going to be there? Do you think that Basil Hawkins and X-Drake are going to team up with Luffy and Law to take down Kaido? Do you think that this arc will be a successful takedown of Yonko? Or is it really going to be a fluke like Big Mom's arc? Also, who do you think will win? Big Mom or Kaido? This is VM. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.